Take a moment and remember your favorite teacher. Now imagine that teacher could reach not 30 kids in a classroom, but millions of students all over the world. That's exactly what Sal Khan is doing on his website, Khan Academy. With digital lessons and simple exercises, he's determined to transform how we learn at every level. One of his most famous pupils, Bill Gates, says Khan, this teacher to the world, is giving us all a glimpse of the future of education. 35-year-old Sal Khan may look like a bicycle messenger, but with 3 degrees from MIT and an MBA from Harvard, his errand is intensely intellectual. In his tiny office above a tea shop in Silicon Valley, he settles in to do what he's done thousands of times before.
We've talked a lot now about the demand curve and consumer surplus. Now let's think about the supply curve.
He's recording a 10-minute economics lesson. It's so simple. All you hear is his voice, and all you see is his colorful sketches on a digital blackboard.
In this video, we're going to talk about the law of demand.
When Khan finishes the lecture, he uploads it to his website, where it joins the more than 3,000 other lessons he's done. In just a couple of years, he's gone from having a few hundred pupils to more than 4 million every month.
Has it sunk in to you that you are probably the most watched teacher in the world now?
Yeah, I try not to say things like that to myself. You don't want to think about it too much because it can, I think, paralyze you a little bit.
Let's talk about one of the most important biological processes.
Sal Khan has tackled so many subjects that if you watched just one of his lectures a day, it would take over 8 years to cover it all.
Huge time scales.
Magnetic north is kind of the geographic location.
And then let's say that this is the point x is equal to basic introduction. Light. If this does not blow your mind, you have no emotion.
It all started in 2004, when Sal Khan was working as a hedge fund analyst in Boston, and his cousin Nadia, a 7th grader in New Orleans, was struggling with algebra. He agreed to tutor her remotely and wound up posting lessons on YouTube. They helped Nadia, but then an odd thing happened. Total strangers started using them too.
I started getting feedback like, you know, my child has dyslexia and this is the only thing that's getting into him. I got letters from people saying, you know, we're praying for you and your family. That's pretty heady stuff. You know, people don't say that type of stuff to a hedge fund analyst normally.
So in 2009, Khan quit his job and, working from a desk set up in his closet, devoted himself full-time to Khan Academy. It's a non-profit with a simple but audacious mission: to provide a free world-class education for anyone, anywhere. If that goal sounds far-fetched for a guy working in his closet, consider what happened next.
There's a website that I've just been using with my kids recently called Khan Academy, K-H-A-N. Just one guy doing some unbelievable 15-minute tutorials.
I was like, those videos for Nadia, not Bill Gates. I have to take a second look at some of this stuff.
That's right. Bill Gates, one of the smartest and richest men in the world, was using Sal Khan's free videos to teach his own kids. Right away, you notice something different. There are no textbooks and no teacher lecturing at the blackboard. Instead, students watch Khan videos at home the night before to learn a concept. Then they come to class the next day and do problem sets called modules to make sure they understand. If they get stuck, they can get one-on-one help from the teacher. Less lecturing, more interaction. What you think of as homework, you do at school. And schoolwork, you do at home. It's called flipping the classroom. And 7th grader Laureen Forget says using Khan Academy at home has given her math a big boost.
I'm not a big fan of textbooks. I thought that Khan Academy was a lot easier because it's on a screen, it's easy to find the concept you want to do.
And now with the videos, do you find yourself rewinding it, playing it again if you need to?
A lot, yeah.
You do that at home?
Yeah, usually when I watch a video, it's because I'm having trouble on the practices. So if I don't understand the video, I can always rewind it or pause it so that I can go back to the module and do what I learned.
What's the hardest part about learning this way?
I don't really think there's a hard part.
Khan Academy has created a dashboard so teachers like Courtney Cadwell can monitor each student's progress.
So right now they're all working on things and you can see that real time.
Yes.
So as you sit here and look at the dashboard, you see how the students are doing individually, you see how they're doing as a whole class,
Yep.
and you can figure out who you need to help.
Exactly, and here I can track their progress over time. I can see who's rushing ahead, who's lagging behind. I can see if they begin to stagnate.
A blue bar indicates a student knows a concept. Orange They're still working on it. But if a red bar pops up,
is kind of the red flag to tell me, hey, it's time to step in and intervene. And I can see...
Oh, so you can see not only that it's red, but specifically what the problem is.
What they missed, and you can see the number of seconds they spent on each problem.
What we're trying to do is take the passivity out of the classroom so that you as a teacher will have more flexibility.
Does it minimize the role of the teacher? Does it make it less impactful?
No, I think it's the exact opposite. We kind of view teachers playing the role of more like a coach or a mentor, which once again, I personally believe is a much higher value thing than a lecturer.
Eric Schmidt, the pioneering chairman of Google, says he's seen a lot of failed attempts to integrate technology into education, but says what Sal Khan is doing is different.
Many people think they're doing something new, but they're not really changing the approach. Whereas with Saul, he said, what we're going to do is not only are we going to make these interesting 10-minute videos, but we're going to measure whether it works or not.
He was the guy to sort of make this happen? Why do you think it was him and not some person who was an educator or who had a background in this area?
Innovation never comes from the established institutions. It's always a graduate student or a crazy person or somebody with a great vision. Saul is that person in education, in my view. He built a platform. If that platform works, that platform could completely change education in America.
The for-profits have to mold themselves much more to the education establishment than we do. As a not-for-profit, we're just like, what's our mission? To educate children as well as possible. I've said it enough times, and it's in our mission statement, a free world-class education for anyone, anywhere.
And that's what sixth grader Alex Hernandez says he needs.
Has anyone in your family ever gone to college?
No.
So that's a pretty big deal for you? Think you're going to be able to do it?
With help or with more studying or Khan Academy, I think I can get there.
I think you can too.